Before we can start our journey through poetry, we have to deal with the dragon that's standing in our path. This dragon is a nasty beast that's always shutting down our minds and taking away our ability to respond by saying, poetry is difficult. It's too difficult for you. You can't understand it. Look, when I have seen by time's fell hand defaced the rich proud cost of outworn buried age, when sometime lofty towers I see down-ras'd, and brass eternal slave to mortal rage. And we panic. We stop reading. We stop listening. We reach for the dictionary, or we try to find out what someone else has said about the poem. And we're lost. The world of poetry vanishes, and we're just left with the negative process of checking words in the dictionary or reading someone else's explanation because we don't understand. Reading a poem from the point of view of what we don't understand is a negative way of approaching poetry. It takes away all the pleasure you might have got from it and turns what should be a voyage of discovery into a dry, pointless exercise. Let's try a different approach. Instead of thinking about what you don't understand and panicking, try to find something you do understand. If there's just one thing you understand, hold on to that and think about that. Go on, pause the video, read the poem and think about it. Remember, don't use a dictionary. Did you find something you could understand? Something clear and simple in among all the difficult stuff? I think there are two things we can look at and say, well, that's not difficult. The first words of the poem, when I have seen, are pretty clear. The poet has seen something, and he says it 3 times, so we know that whatever it is, it must be important. But what has he seen? Well, before trying to answer that, let's look at the other simple thing that I think we can all understand. Look at that line, time will come and take my love away. There are no difficult words there, are there? And I think we can all understand it. So, if we put those two simple parts of the poem together, what do we get? The poet has seen something, and time will come and take his love away. What's the connection here? Well, it seems that what the poet has seen also has something to do with time. Something is being done by time's hand. Whatever it is that time is doing, it seems to lead the poet to the conclusion that time will take his love away. Well, now we've got a starting point. We can see that the poet has seen something that makes him think that time will take his love away. That's like a little thread of understanding. If we follow that thread, perhaps it will lead us somewhere. So now let's try looking at some of the more difficult parts of the poem. The poet seems to be giving a list of things he's seen. When I have seen, when I have seen, when I have seen. Very often, when we get a list like this, if we can understand one thing on the list, it's like a kind of key to the other things. I'm going to choose one of the things the poet has seen. Let's see if we can understand what it is. In the 3rd line of the poem, we see the words lofty towers. I think we probably know what towers are. They might be something like the ones at the corners of this castle. And he says the towers are down-ras'd. Now, remember, this is something that time has done. Time's hand has done something to these towers. What do you think it's done? Again, pause the video and see if you can figure it out. Because one thing you figure out for yourself is worth 50 things a teacher tells you. So go on, have a try. Okay, here it is. When the poet says that time has down-ras'd the towers, he means this. Time has turned the towers to ruins. Now let's go back to what we've already understood and try to put it all together. The poet has seen time do several things. One of those things is turning towers to ruins. In other words, time destroys things. Now we can look at the other images, the other things the poet has seen time do, and even if we don't understand them perfectly, we can guess that they're probably more examples of the same basic thing, that time destroys things. And knowing that makes him think that time will also take his love away. Why does it make him think that? For the third and last time, let's pause the video and see if you can see the connection. It shouldn't be too difficult. I'm sure some of you have already guessed it. All right. The poet thinks that time will take his love away because it takes away everything else. It's as simple as that. Of course, there are many things in the poem we still haven't understood, but we have a basic idea of what's going on, and we've done it by thinking positively. Time destroys everything, even our love. This thought is as a death which cannot choose, but weep to have that which it fears to lose. Having love, the poet says, is not enough. Still we weep, because we know that one day we must lose that love. Now you can turn to the dictionary, or read what others have said about this poem. Once you've developed a basic relationship with the poem by thinking about what you do understand and building on that, then is the time to check other sources and to try to put together the pieces that are still missing. But always try to build up your own understanding first, however imperfect or incomplete it may be.